thank you guys for joining us in our second phase of this stuff. It's been a lot of work to get these tours up and running. It's more so putting the guide together for having all the new stuff that's added on, as well as talking about history. So it's kind of balancing out restoration and history, and there's a lot there. I'll tell you right now, there's so much history, there's too much to talk about. We'll be here for days. So the tour guides are going to really focus on ongoing restoration and stuff like that. So you're going to see the progress, and then maybe some of the history we uncovered through this process and lessons learned. So you're going to see a lot of the changes we made throughout the class.
Have any long lost items been found during the process?
You're actually going to see one.
Oh, cool.
You're going to see a long last. It wasn't the last update, but you could see it in person. Long last item that was taken off the app fire control, and we found that after we replaced it. So you'll see that in person too. Tom's going to stop there. So, okay, I'm going to go ahead and get started on the safety review. Again, thank you guys for coming out. This wouldn't be possible without Gulf Copper allowing the opportunity. You know it's rare. You can't just go in a shipyard and see something that's basically a giant construction site. So appreciate them allowing us to do it, as well as the docents and volunteers that come out and support us these tours. We did a lot of work to put these together, working with the shipyard and making sure it stays safe. And I've said this to every tour group so far. Every tour has been different so far because of all of the work changing constantly. This tour is not the same as it was last Sunday, and that tour is not the same as it was the first Sunday. So things have changed rapidly, and they're going to keep changing as time moves on. So these tours aren't going to stay the same. They're going to be different. As we get the scaffolding down from the foremast, we're probably going to likely go up there in later tours. So things are going to happen and change. So right now, you guys are the first to see the start of it, and we're going to keep going until April for now. So
will there be a tour of below?
We're working on that. With the ship being closed and a construction site for so long, a lot of hatches are open. A lot of safety issues. So we're going to make sure everything is nice and tight and safe, as well as once we start doing some work going on inside the vessel, we can start venturing down there. We've already started working on the hard hat tours that were back open in San Jacinto. We've started a new version of that, so it's going to take a little bit, but right now, no. Just make sure everything stays safe, because remember, tanks are open. It's not a pleasant sight. It's a big drop down in those fuel tanks. So, okay. So again, thank you guys so much for coming out. Thanks for docents and for volunteers, as well as the staff that are out here every weekend to put these on, and that's all they get done. So, you guys went through the dry dock talk. It's essentially the same thing with the copy changes. Again, I'm going to drop you off here. You're actually going to get to walk up a little bit closer to the ship you would at San Jacinto and see the ship from a different angle. Stay away from the edges, just like the dry dock tour. There's no railing. You got to stay away from it, okay? It's a good shot, some good pictures up there. You're going to get a brief history of the ship, and you're going to walk on. The gangway that you're going to go and walk across to get up to the ladder to get up to the ship, it's very slick right now, and it's grading. I recommend putting your phones and valuables in your pockets or wherever, just because if you start falling or slipping, you're going to let it go and it's going to fly.
Into the water.
Into the water, yeah. You're not getting it back. So we haven't had that yet, but I'm worried, because my own phone goes in my pocket and it stays there. I don't mess with that. So be cautious of that. Again, it's slippery from the rain. Use the handrails. Do what you need to do. Going up and down ladders, there's sandblast media everywhere too. That makes it even more slick. Please be mindful of that. Be careful. When you're on the ship, we've had a lot of equipment move on and off. The deck can be a little rough in some areas, so please be mindful of that. Sandblast media can be in the crevices. It can be everywhere. You might think it's a solid surface, and it's not. So please watch that. Watch it the best you can. Okay. Hard hat and glasses stay on the entire time. They do not come off for any reason. Hard hats. You are now a little taller than you normally are. Okay. When you start going in the air castle or low overheads, watch your head. Even though you have a hard hat on, you can still hurt your neck. It's not fun. I've been there. So remember, you're taller, duck down. If you need to, just kind of watch it. They need to stay on the entire time you're out there, okay? Do not come off for any reason. Pictures and video. We're relaxing a little bit, but same thing as dry dock tours. Pictures, take as many as you want. Just make sure you stop, plank yourself, take your picture. Don't walk around or take pictures at the same time. Don't do that. Videos, we're allowing a little bit with some restrictions. We don't want you walking around and videoing. You're not looking where you're going, right? You're not looking where you're going. You can trip, you can fall. We can't have that, okay? Especially with the slick wet out today. You cannot record your entire tour. Some of our docents don't even record it. They're out here volunteering their time. We're going to respect that. If they don't want to be recorded, they don't want to be recorded. We ask that you respect that too. So please, please, please abide by that. Do not record the entire tour if they do not want it. So please do not do that, okay? Any questions? I have water here. If you guys need it. Last chance to go ahead was like 5 minutes ago. I think that's all I've got.
Yeah, just to be clear, there is not a bathroom on the ship, so if you need to, now is the chance.
Okay, if I didn't miss anything. Okay, all right, let's go ahead and get you guys on the golf cart. We'll get you down there. Be safe.
All
have
right.
fun. See you in about an hour and a half, okay? Thank you, guys.
Oh, you read my mind. The last card.
Go ahead, Tom. I'll jump back here in the back. Well, that was fun.
Come up here, we're all going to take our little badges here and we're going to put them on the board in line with, not the top row, but when Tom puts his 10 o'clock time on there, put them in line with the 10 o'clock so we know we don't lose anybody.
They're stolen away.
Is it Tom Scott the elder? The older one?
Oh, good question.
It
We're
is.
going to take our badges, we're going to hang them on this badge board. Let's just put them on this second row right here, okay?
There was one on the card. Excuse me.
Sure.
So before we get started, we'll let you get those tags hung.
And I don't remember if Hunter mentioned it or not, but if anybody has any issues and for any reason does need to step off the ship, just let us know. We'll call for a cart and we'll get you back. We're not going to make you walk back. That's what I want.
So my name's Tom Scott. I'm going to be the guide today. This is Ashley Ratley and Joe Udinning, who are also docents. And even though I'm kind of leading this thing, I would appreciate it if you basically treat them the same way you might treat me, whether it's with profound respect or complete dismissal. But just be sure you treat us equally, okay? Now, we're about to go on board, and actually, one thing I want to point out is you may have seen these little signs. There are a couple of them here that Rally Point Zacagney. Julio Zacagney was one of the crew members on board the Texas from 1939 to 42, and he just died only about 6 months ago. But he was a tremendous friend of the ship, and we all loved Julio dearly. So, this is one of the small ways that we can honor him. Back up at the sign-in desk, there was Rally Point Baker, and also Rally Point Edelman. John Edelman and Baker
Just
were
real quick.
both served through most of World War II on the ship. Baker was the captain, perhaps the strongest and most loved captain on the ship. And both he and Edelman were on the bridge during an event that we'll discuss later, when the bridge actually was seriously damaged by a German shell. And they played significant roles back up on the bridge. So this is just small ways we can honor them.
They didn't have all those guns on it last time I was here. They didn't have any.
They
of
didn't?
these when we was here before. They had a couple on the other side of the pipe entrance, but that was it.
So now the one thing that Hunter had mentioned during the briefing is when it comes to photography and video, knock yourself out with still photos. If you want to shoot some video, that's fine for pan shots. Please do not be walking and shooting at the same time. And I am personally going to ask you to please do not record my entire or even major portions of the tour. You're certainly welcome to shoot short clips of it though. Anybody know where the name Dreadnought comes from? The Brits are so good at naming ships. I love it. There's an old saying, fear God and dread naught. And that certainly applied to this ship. Now, what makes this a Dreadnought? Well, when she was built and commissioned in 1914, she had 10 14-inch guns. Now, this made her, and also her sister ship, New York, the most powerful warships, actually the most powerful fighting anything in the world, at least for about 8 months. And then the British commissioned the HMS Queen Elizabeth in December of 1914 that had 10 15-inch guns on it. So they snatched the title. But that's almost like splitting hairs. They were all weapons to be reckoned with. Now, I said they were all big guns because they got rid of all the smaller calibers except for one. They also had to have what was called a rapid fire cannon. And if you look up in what's called the air castle, you can see the barrels of 3 of the Texases, a total of 6 of those. Those are 5-inch, 51 caliber rapid fire guns. Now Texas started out with 21 of those. So why did they have those, considering that this was an all big gun ship? Well, the original builder's drawings called them anti-torpedo guns. Now, they couldn't shoot a torpedo. You could never hope to hit a torpedo coming at you with a cannon. But what they did was they protected against the basic threat, which in the 1910 to 1912 period that she was being designed were torpedo boats and light cruisers that could come in at high speed, get within range, launch a torpedo attack, and leave. And at that time, a single torpedo could be a battleship killer. So this was a horrendous threat. And to counter that, she had 21 of these rapid-fire guns, and you can see, actually, what we have up here in this structure where the guns are now did not exist in 1914. But if you look toward the bow, you see where all those folks are standing, and you see those 2 sets of kind of weird insets there. That's where 2 of them were mounted. 2 more were mounted back here. You can see kind of those circular insets. Those were openings. There were a total of 9 guns mounted on each side on the second deck below the main deck. There were 2 in the superstructure, which was above, 1 on each side above the main deck level, and then 1 off the stern. A lot of people like to call it a stinger, which I think is a great name. The naval term was a stern chaser. So with that, let's you'll look for that, and we'll find our way up here to the.
Hey Joe, can you take the lead and get us all up there?
Hey Tom, do you know about how many feet she's drawing right now?
Oh, let's see here. Probably about 27, 28, somewhere in there.
This female docent had been behind me the entire time. And about 60 seconds after this, I was asked to stop recording everything. Which I was not recording everything, just sections, as I said we could. So is my imaginary blacklist real? Question mark. Tell me in the comments. What do you think? It ain't real. No, it's not real. Come on.
1948, before the ship, the Navy handed the ship over to us, you can see in the wide section of their window openings, they plated those over, the steel plate. The problem was, not only was there glass damage, but the windows could actually be opened by sliding them down, and those were retained in wood frames. Well, the wood deteriorated, was damaged, so the easy solution for them was to just remove the windows, plate it over with steel. Then in 1961, Hurricane Carla comes along, breaks out the glass in that round portion at the top, and so they plated that over with steel. Even the louvers in the tapered section below those 2 positions weren't there. And so the net result was it looked like a bizarre water tower on the ship. No visual clue at all what its function was. Well, this is the aft fire control tower. those two sections with the windows are identical to the ones that are on the floor mast. The only difference between the two is on the floor mast there's an extra row of windows in between them that was battle lookout. Guys with powerful binoculars will be up there to watch for basically the fall of shots, flashes from missiles. They could telephone directions down to the plotting room, and that kind of thing. Well, you don't need it back here, so it was not installed.
Pay close attention to the old decking in this area. Here in a few minutes, we'll see where the new decking stands. I found it. That was a test. I had to run a test.
That's not original equipment.
What a machinist.
Well, I got one at home. Well, that's what you do.
I was shooting video earlier and it was taking pictures.
Right outside here is the new decking. However, it is primered right now. It is not 100% completed.
Huh?
Yeah.
And the sticker. So,
Okay, folks, someone just graciously asked me a question, which are what are these weird tubes that are stuck on these are called splitter shields at the 20 millimeter gun mounts. Well, 20 millimeter cannon can fire at a very rapid rate, and a barrel was good for up to 20,000 rounds. The thing is, though, you're never going to fire 20,000 rounds just quickly. Okay, it's going to take months to, even during heavy action, it's going to take months to get there. But what does happen when you go into heavy action is the barrels overheat.
mm-hmm.
So there's one of the gun crew had asbestos gloves because they're so safe, and they could actually quickly detach that hot barrel, pull the one that was being stored in here, stick it on there, 30 seconds or less, and if he was ready with the fresh barrel, be back in action. Once it cooled down, they could just drop it down in there, and then they could reuse it once it was cool again. So that's what these are for, and this is obviously the easy way to see, oh yeah, that's a 20 millimeter gun tub, because here's the angled spare barrel holders. So we're standing on new deck. This is pressure treated wood. You can see there's, and it's yellow pine.
Currently, the new part of the deck is primered and it's very unlevel. However, it is only midway through its construction. Once the entire deck is replaced and primered, it will be sanded to where it is completely level. There will be no trip points, such as a board sticking up a 1/4 inch higher than another, or any other area where you may be able to kick a board and trip over it. All that will be sanded down flush. Once that is done, it will be painted with its permanent color. Here, we are setting up for a group photograph of everybody that's in the tour. A tall guy, I'll get in the back.
Just remember, if you can't see the camera, it can't see you.
No, I can't see it.
Looking for dolphins.
Yeah, well, there was some out here a while ago.
15?
Yeah.
So
what
that's
that one
21 over there.
Yeah.
So it's going to be up this way. But I don't know exactly where they all divide at. Totally down with what?
Going to Katie's and throwing a fit.
Oh, yeah.
Throwing a temper tantrum right there in their lobby.
Yeah.
I won my ship.
I wish the Monument Inn was over here. That would be a delicious place.
Yeah.
Did it
The one
close?
out
Yeah.
No, it's still there. It's the one that's by the ferry. The one you're thinking about that was by the ship has been gone for a long time.
Okay, yeah. That's the one I've been to. The one right there about the ship.
Wish it had been a sunnier day, but you get what you get.
A little boat's going to come up.
Okay, folks, if I would, I'm going to ask that you not step over the chain, but let's walk around and let's head up to the captain's cabin.
Captain's cabin, yeah. I don't know.
Where are we not supposed to touch? Oh, this. Don't touch. Don't touch the map.
We're going to be talking about that for a little bit.
Please
Don't
do not
touch the map.
The map on the left-hand side there.
The original plane.
Well, some of it is.
It was 1940.
They restored.
This map was painted in the captain's cabin somewhere in the 40s. Now it shows where Battleship Texas engaged the enemy. They had marked that with 2 orange spots. Now sometime after World War II, this wall was painted over, and over the decades, the map was forgotten. At some point, it was rediscovered and painstakingly restored. Paint was chipped off of the map with dental picks. Very painstaking, laborious, time-consuming work. Once that was completed as best it could be, an artist came in and matched the colors of the map and restored it slightly. The map is a treasure to the Battleship Texas, as well it should be. It is again located in the captain's cabin. If you ever go to the battleship, and you should, make sure to make your way there. And please do not touch the map. It's very old and very delicate paint. I'm sure at some point they will put it inside some kind of glass casing to keep people from touching it.